You ever wanted something so bad, but everything around you has made it almost impossible for you to achieve? My name is Norris Frederick, and this is my road to gold. My 2012 season was the best season I've ever had as a professional athlete. I had a lot of ups and, just very few downs. And with the amount of support that I was able to get, over the 2012 season, made all the difference in the world. It was the first time that I actually felt like a true professional athlete. My marketing team and my group was, we were strategic on what we did. By placing events and doing events, we held a celebrity auction on which we had a great turnout. We held an Olympic dinner on which we had a great turnout and raised a ton of funds. And it was just, it made all the difference in the world to be able to, share my goals, my aspirations with everybody and anybody who wanted to listen. We had people, from the Seattle Seahawks show up, our lingerie football team show up, the Patriots, the Jets, all these professional athletes came to support me in my quest for my Olympic gold in 2012. And just thinking about it just puts a huge smile on my face. The thing that people don't understand is I don't get paid like an NFL player. I don't get paid like an NBA player and things like that. I rely a lot on community and, my sponsorships. So we'll do things like, walk door to door with a donation letter, or we'll do just different things to keep my name relevant in order to help with the sponsorships or the in-kind donations or things like that to make my life and my goals just a little more attainable. And in 2012, I had about 3 or 4 people on the street team that would walk around different neighborhoods and hand out flyers on my behalf, myself included, and it brought in some funds and it helped me, catapult into, that awesome season that I had. It's really cool, just seeing everything come together, watching yourself on camera and, seeing, how the small things in the video actually equal, to the big picture. And doing commercial shoots and photo shoots and things like that, for, these different companies and these different brands and these different businesses, I'm at a loss for words on how it makes me feel, and interviews and radio stations and in-station interviews, and it's crazy. But this is my life. It isn't the life that I asked for. It was the life that was presented to me through athletics, and leading into 2016, I really just want to capitalize on it. And the funny thing is, it's like these interviews and these promo shoots enhance me as an athlete because it keeps me relevant. I don't have a paid PR team. I don't have, a huge agency behind me, pushing my name out to all these different filters. It's me and a group of people that actually believe in what I'm pushing to do on and off the field. My entire professional career, I just tried to focus on giving back and, doing speaking engagements. The biggest one of this year was the Child Haven event, where I got to speak to somewhere close to 1,900 people and just really tell them about my life and exactly what I had to go through to get to where I am today. Another one, I got to speak at Roosevelt High School, and I spoke to every student there. They held an assembly for me and they retired my uniform, and it's just little things like that, just being able to walk into a place and get a standing ovation and bringing tears to people's eyes so they are actually connecting with me and not making it seem like I'm out of their reach. Or when I started being recruited, Mr. Barnes chose to go on recruiting trips to make sure that they put I am just a normal person to these guys, and I love it. I love it. The thing that keeps me pushing is the support system that I have. I keep it really condensed. It's just because, in these past years, when the Olympic season rolls around, everybody comes back. It can be ex-girlfriends, it can be ex-best friends, it can be, you know, family members, it can be whomever. And it really takes a toll on me. It pulls from me and my focus and all these things that I have going on. And, you know, sitting down and, you know, being able to connect with my support group, my support system, and, you know, have a bunch of people walk outside in blistering heat or pouring down rain, you know, promoting my name, pushing my brand, you know, advertising for a fundraiser. It's truly remarkable. And just the amount of support and love that I get from my support group and things like that. You know, there's instances where I'll have just an idea out of the blue, and, you know, they'll just all be on board because they know at the end of the day, you know, like, we can achieve it. And, you know, like, and then there's family, you know, or, you know, the older brother plays the older brother role where, you know, at the same time he's super supportive, but also showing me what devil's advocate looks like. And, you know, my mom taking time out of her work schedule to show up to these events and, you know, just looking at me in tears saying, like, this is my son, like, I can't believe my son has come this far, and look what he's doing to his community, and look what he's doing for his community. And my little brother, you know, looking at me and telling me I'm his role model, and he's 18 years old, 17 years old, and it's just enough to make all of this worth it. The difference between me as a college athlete and me as a professional athlete is the amount of maturity that I've had to put myself through. You know, the level of competition, like, I mean, think about this, you know, like, think about your favorite athlete, your favorite sport, and then think about, you know, seeing them on TV and talking to your coach about them and watching video on them, and then a year later, you know, you're on the runway competing against them, you know. So put yourself in my situation. It's like, do I idolize this athlete or do I try to beat this athlete, you know? And it was a big eye-opener for me to have to deal with that and to go through that. And you know, somehow I always managed to come out okay, and it just lets me know that everything is okay. One thing that I'll never forget is I would always watch video on Dwight Phillips. And for those who don't know who Dwight Phillips is, he was the 2004 Olympic gold medalist and the 2010 world champion in the men's long jump. And you know, I had a bunch of opportunities to compete against him. And I remember one distinctively was we were at the Adidas outdoor meet in Carson, California. And, you know, Dwight had just lost his endorsement deal. And, you know, me and another teammate of mine took it upon ourselves to kind of rub it in his face. You know, we figured if we get him out the competition, you know, the first place prize money would be open for anybody. So we did a rock, paper, scissors match, my teammate and I, and the loser had to present Dwight Phillips with a letter. And the letter was, you know, a lot of trash talk. And Dwight looks at it. I end up losing, obviously. And Dwight ends up, you know, looking at it and reading it. And remember that day he had a white speed suit on. And I told him, as I gave him the note, you know, that's a bold statement. You come out here with a white speed suit. And he looked at me, took the letter, read it, laughed, tucked it in his uniform, and ran down the runway.
This is round 3. Phillips with good speed. He's run 10.06 for 100 meters this year.
So I walked back over to my teammate, and my teammate looked at me and was like, man, he's looking pretty fast. And then when he hit the board, everything around everything just kind of slowed down.
31-year-old nails the board, trips out of the pit. He knew it was something special, you bet. Number 5 all-time.
And I was like, he's been in the air for quite some time. And when he landed, like, he just jumped out of the pit and ran. And it was like, oh no, like something bad just happened. And the announcer told us that he had jumped the number 3 jump ever recorded from anybody in track and field. And he came back and looked at me and was just like, you know, welcome to the big leagues. We're not in college anymore. And if that didn't humble me, then I couldn't tell you what would have. The weird thing is, it's like being able to travel the world. I think I've been to somewhere right around 24 different countries. And I've always dealt with it well. You know, being on tour for 30 plus days is a lot different than, you know, picking up, packing, and then moving. So, I've been battling injuries, since 2009, and just having an opportunity to have a healthy body for just 1 year, just give it, an honest shot for just 1 year. I ran into a doctor. His name is Dr. Rellifer, and I explained to him my situation, and we looked up my stats for earlier last year, and he saw that I was, top 5 in the world being hurt and injured. He understood, and he offered to do a service called PRP. It's where they take blood from a part of your body and inject it into the part of the body that is actually injured. And I was lucky and blessed enough for him to pick up the bill himself and do it as a in-kind donation for me. And now, my knee just feels like a brand new leg, but I still believe and think that I just need more time off to rest. So, it's been a real struggle for me, fighting the competitive nature of me wanting to go out and compete, versus me needing rest and stopping when my body's asking me to. And this year it's been completely different for me, and just trying to figure out what happens next, so it's been weird. My number one love in sports was basketball. Growing up as a kid, like NBA, where it was reality. It was where I wanted to be at. And growing up and getting older and more mature, you see the difference in the level of competition change. I committed to University of Washington for basketball in 10th grade. This is well before I even thought or even heard of, Roosevelt High School even having a track team. And every time I touched the ball, people threw around the words college and then the words professional, and I believed it. I legitimately thought I was going to the NBA at 5 feet 8 inches, 63 pounds, and boy did my eyes get opened. I can jump with the best of them. And in 2005, when I got to college, I was put in a dunk contest against the University of Washington men's basketball players, and Quincy Pondexter, Justin Dittman, and Tim Morris, and all these guys, went out here and showed up to the occasion in hopes that they would win. And at the end of the day, they play basketball for a living and I jump for a living. And I completely stole the thunder and took the shine from the men's basketball team that day, and I think that was my last fix that I needed.
It's a great night.
I think that's what victory I held on to. Being a collegiate basketball player was winning that March Madness or that Midnight Madness dunk contest. So at this point, there's a few things that I would like to ask you guys, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys, honestly. And I have the option to move back to San Diego and train at the Olympic Training Center under Olympic medalist Al Joyner, Olympic gold medalist Al Joyner. I have the option to go back to my nest in Seattle, Washington with Coach Pat Licari, who knows me inside and out and who's got me to where I am today. Or I have the option to stay here in Southern California and try to find my way in Los Angeles. So I'm just gonna leave that for you guys to help me out with, and like I said, this is gonna be a team effort from this point forward. A lot of athletes and actors have their sayings on what they call support from the viewers, and whereas Lady Gaga calls her viewers her minions, and other athletes have their own. I just want to refer to you guys as family. I really have taken a liking to that, and for most of my viewers, I know you guys have my best interest, and so I just want to leave it with that. Please follow me on my road to gold, and welcome to the family.